Hey everybody, Becca Forsythe from the Elmira Poor People's Campaign reporting in again. I've got an issue. I have recently been made aware of an offense that happened at a middle school near me, and I am outraged. We are getting information about an incident at the Binghamton East Middle School, a school on the city's east side that enrolls about 600 kids in grades 6 through 8. It seems that on January 15th, 4 black female students, all 12 years old, were questioned and then strip searched for the suspicion of possessing drugs by a school nurse and assistant principal Michelle Raleigh, and at the behest of Principal Tim Simmons. Mr. Simmons later reported that their actions were justified because they were acting suspiciously. He felt that the girls were being hyper and giddy. I'm not sure how many 12-year-old girls you guys know, but I'm reasonably sure that their job description includes being hyper and giddy. I have to speak out about this injustice perpetrated against some of our youngest and most vulnerable community members. At the most unlikely of places, in a school, by administrators who are tasked with protecting and caring for our children. No one had consent from a parent. The parents didn't find out until one girl came home and told them. They were held, questioned, and searched for over an hour with no drugs found. It was then thought to be forgotten. One thing we have learned through the Poor People's Campaign is that silence is violence, and we don't forget when someone is hurting our children, and someone's been hurting our children, and it's gone on for far too long. The children had their clothes removed. They felt shamed, humiliated, traumatized by this experience. While they were being searched, the nurse made disparaging comments about the eczema one girl had and the size of another girl's breasts. They, as well as their parents, believed the heinous and excessive actions implemented by the school were racially motivated. The long-term consequences can only be guessed at today, but statistics indicate that these young ladies have a long road ahead of them that could include things like PTSD. To have an entire school district invalidate your trauma, question your honesty after you experienced the paralyzing fear and terror of having your body violated in such a way, I can't imagine the night terrors that they must be experiencing right now. The Poor People's Campaign talks about the pillars of evil. Systemic racism is being called out by name as an evil that played a role in this. When we look at the statistics the New York State Education Department provides with relation to the evils, it looks like there needs to be some strong critical analysis of the functioning at this school. Like so many other schools in New York, they show a proficiency at 11% for their black students, 1% for their students with disabilities, and 9% for those who find themselves economically disadvantaged. We have to stand in solidarity with these young girls and tell them that we believe them. After interviewing the parents and the children and reviewing any unsatisfactory response from Principal Simmons, the progressive leaders of tomorrow in Binghamton are calling on community members to join them in demanding accountability for the degradation and injustice experienced by these students. They are calling on the community members to speak out. Tuesday, January 29th, they are organizing for a rally at East Middle School at 3:15 p.m., 167 East Frederick Street in Binghamton, New York. The list of demands for accountability include: number 1, that the school immediately stop the practice of strip searching their children for any reason, including and especially in response to giddiness or behavioral concerns. Number 2, the removal of Assistant Principal Michelle Raleigh and Principal Tim Simmons for their role at East Middle for exhibiting astoundingly poor judgment, which resulted in child trauma. Number 3, the removal of the nurse who administrated the strip searches and a revocation of their license pending further review. Number 4, a public apology to the students, their families, and the community at large for violating the trust of all parties harmed by their actions. Number 5, alternate instruction provided for the girls affected at either West Middle School or home instruction until the situation has been rectified to the satisfaction of the families. The progressive leaders of tomorrow have started a fundraiser to help these young ladies. You can donate here. Let's support these young ladies and show them that the new moral narrative hears their cry. We will move forward together and not one step back.